Hello everybody. Today's video is technically a 2-in-1. This was the last time I said that there would be substitutions or different options you can use in place of the fifth in a given progression. But also I had a request to do a chord video about chords, specifically chord construction. So without any further ado, let's just jump into it. Now the normal progression starts out 2-5-1, or anything that you have with the 5. Substitutions, things you can do with the 5. You have the dominant 7, which is just a normal 7 in a different position. With the dominant 7, you can do the tritone substitution, of course. Something else you can do is you can use the 4 in the key of C. The 4 would be F. But this time you want to play a minor 6-9 chord instead of the 5. In place of the 5 chord. Instead of playing 2-5-1, you play 2, 4, that's one option. The other one is pretty common. You can use the 5 in the bass, but play a 4 chord over it. This is an add 9 chord, called an additive chord. Not the same as a 9, because when you have the number at the end of it, instead of the add 9, if it just says 9 instead of add 9, you're implying above the octave. So you have your major 9, then you have your add 9. So it would sound like this: 2, 5, and 1. The last thing is altered chords: 2, 5, 1. Same thing with the tritone substitution: 2, 5, 1. Altered chords are chords that is a 7th chord that doesn't contain a natural 5th or 9. But we're going to get into that in just a second. This is the second part at the 3-minute mark. So, chords. Basically, all your chords are going to be versions of your major chord. It's simplest to think of it. It's not literally a variation, but it's easiest to think of it that way. In your major scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Your first triad will be the major triad, which will be 1, 3, and 5 together. Regardless of whatever scale you start in, whatever key you're in, 1, 3, and 5 will always be your major triad. Now the variations of this, you have the minor triad, which is 1, flat 3, and 5. So not your regular 3, but the key that is 1/2 step to the left. That's your minor triad. Major, minor. Now the next one, 1, 3, sharp 5. That's your augmented triad. AUGMENTED. 1, 3, sharp 5. Your last one is diminished. 1, flat 3, flat 5. The way to practice this is going in between each of the chords. Major, then minor, back to major, then diminished, back to major, then to augmented, then back to major. That's how you practice it in every key. So it should sound like this. Then next key up. Then the next key. And so on, all the way up. then back down until you have those 4 chords. Now there's other variations like the sus chord or the add 9 or some other variation you can do, sus2, anything. But those really are supplementary chords. Your 4 basic chords are the most important. Now getting into 7th chords. 7th chords are the chords that contain the 7. They're basically just 2 halves, triad plus 7. You have your major triad and the 7th scale degree. That's your major 7. 1, 3, 5, and 7 of your major scale. Now your 7th chords are going to be variations of the same thing. Just like the triads, you have your major triad plus your natural 7, that's your major 7. Then you have the dominant 7, which is your major triad, plus your flat 7, down the half step. Then you have your minor triad, minor major 7, as your minor triad, plus the natural 7. This is the one we use the harmonic minor scale for. That's the minor major 7. Then you have the minor 7th, which is a minor triad with a flat 7. This is the natural minor scale, or whatever mode you decide to associate with this one. Aeolian, well, they're not going to get into that yet. That was in the modes video. Now, the next one, you have the minor 7 flat 5 or half diminished triad. It begins with a diminished triad, half diminished 7th chord, sorry. The same as the minor 7, except for with a flat 5. That's why they call it the minor 7 flat 5. It's a very specific designation. Last, we have the diminished 7th chord, fully diminished. This is a minor, all minor thirds, 2 keys in between each one. 2 tritones, a third apart. Those are all your basic 7th chords. So once you practice all your 7th chords, all your triads, you have all of those. Next, we're going to get into extension. Your extensions are just going to be extensions of the scale. If you keep going, you're not going to repeat notes. So you have 1, 3, 5, 7. This will be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We only go up to 13 because once you get past that, you start repeating notes. 1, 3, 5, 7. This is 9 or 2. 11 is 4. 13 is 6. You don't say 10, 12, 14 because those are already present in the chord. Now, there are some rules involving the 11. If the chord that you're playing in the basis of the chord is a major bass chord, you don't play the natural 11. You shouldn't, but some people do because, well, they're good enough to get away with it. So you play the sharp 11 for majors. For minor chords, you play the natural 11. So all of them. Now, when people, this is how you designate them. Whatever the 7th chord is, you place a 7 with the highest number. So if you have a 13, your major 7 becomes a major 13. If you have a minor 7th chord with a 9, it becomes a minor 9. This is the same structure for all your chords. Now, quick rules about the 7th, because it's getting close to 10 minutes. 7th chords do not require the 5th unless it alters the function. For instance, this major 7 doesn't need the 5th. You only need the root 3rd and the 7th typically, and the root can be omitted most of the time. Thanks for watching. There's a lot of information here, so watch carefully, like, share, and subscribe, and let me know if there's anything else you need to know about the chords. We didn't get into the function of the chords yet, just simply how to play them. This applies in every key, so take your time with each scale and building your chords. Thanks.